This is chapters 41 through 45 of 14 Ways to Die. 41. After a shopping day at the Waves, Hannah and Emily come back to my place. "Hi, Mr. Simmons," Hannah says from the hall. She always stands in the entrance way as if our living room is off limits, but Emily has other ideas. She walks right in, sits next to Dad, and says, "How's it going?" This is Emily's way of dealing with the grief that rests on my father like a layer of dust. She ignores it. "Want to see what I bought?" Emily asks. "Why not?" She smiles, pulling top after top from bag after bag and critiquing each one. But Dad lets her, and the grin that briefly flickers across his face tells me he enjoys these silly moments as much as Emily. In my room, we order pizza, then argue for an hour about what movie to watch. "So," Emily says with a sly smile on her face, "Danny, what about him?" She raises an eyebrow and says, "Anything happen after that filming?" "No," I say, and they both laugh. "I think he would," Hannah says. Emily adds, "I think we all would." I make a face and Emily goes, "What? He's cute." "I prefer Michael," Hannah says. Emily stares at her. "Are you serious?" I like that he doesn't try too hard. He doesn't try at all. "They're in their 20s, I say. "Ryan Gosling is like 40, Hannah says. And you can't argue with that kind of logic, so we sit quietly for a while, probably thinking about the same thing. They want me to have a love interest. Adrian probably does too. Maybe Danny is my director on purpose, because he's good looking and because I'm a girl and, well, we all know what happens next. But it won't happen this time. I hate stories where a pretty boy turns up and the girl is like, "He literally defines my entire universe." My life is defined by something bigger than that. Hannah reaches for her shopping bag and pulls out the new top she bought, then points at the camera with the sock over it and says, "Are there any more of those?" "Not in here," I say. "I only covered that one to make sure." That's when my phone beeps and they both look at me, because if we are together, it's unlikely to be anything good. I don't want to read it, but Emily nods, and I can see she's desperate to know what it says. "Are you having fun, girls? I'm outside. Come and play." Oh my god. I drop the phone on my bed and walk to the window, feeling a chill rise up my back. "What?" Hannah asks. Is it him?" "Turn the light off," I say. "Why?" "Turn it off and come here." The room goes dark and they stand on either side of me looking outside. "What is it?" Emily asks. "He says he's watching." I see Hannah shiver and Emily reaches for the curtains and pulls them open. "I can't see anyone," she says, and before I can stop her, she's reaching for my phone, reading the message, then putting her shoes on and walking to the door. Oh my god, Emily is stupid. "Where are you going?" Hannah asks. "To find out who's doing this. I'm going to stop him." "What if it's," Hannah says, but Emily shouts, It's not him, it's some weirdo who thinks this is funny." She looks at me like she wants me to agree with her, but I don't know what to do. Emily rushes out of my room, and from the top of the stairs, I watch her open the front door and walk outside. Only then, when she marches headfirst into the darkness, do I move. Hannah looks terrified, and I lead her back to the window, where we can see Emily staring down the street, and I tell Hannah to stay there. If you see anyone, call the police." She nods and I run outside, then freeze after 3 steps into the black. It's not the color, it's a sound. The evening hums, and my head tightens until I realize I'm holding my breath. I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't leave my friend to chase this weirdo on her own, so I step forward, looking right, then left, until I see a shadow a few houses down. I swallow hard, then dart into the patches of light made from streetlights and glowing windows. The shadow moves quicker, running away from me, thank God. And that's when I realize I might be chasing the wrong person. "Emily," I whisper, then again, louder this time. A dog whimpers a few streets over, a whine that sounds like a warning, and as I turn, I see someone too close to escape. "Hey," Emily says, just as I say shit. She laughs, sees my face, then goes serious. "Did you see anyone?" I look behind me, trying to figure out what I saw, then grab Emily's arm and pull her back toward the house. "What are you doing?" she yells. "Come inside," I say as quietly and calmly as I can. But Emily shakes her head, takes a deep breath, and shouts, "Where are you, you prick? I'm here. I'm ready to play." Jesus Christ, Emily is stupid. Oh my god, don't be an Emily. I grab her arm again, but she pulls it away. I can see curtains twitching and port lights coming on. Most of the neighbors weren't here when Mom was murdered, but they know our history. A man steps out of a house on the other end of the road and asks if we're all right. "We're fine," I say. "Thank you. She's a little drunk." The man nods but doesn't close his door, just watches us as Emily looks back and forth searching for something that isn't there. "Please," I say, "don't do this now. The neighbors..." But it's more than that. I'm desperate to get back indoors. The night plays tricks on us all the time, but sometimes it's not a trick, and the longer I stay here, the more anxious I feel. Emily looks like she's about to shout again when she catches my eye and stops. It's not him, Jess. It's some kid messing around, or a lonely old man with nothing better to do. That's what I thought too, but the feeling on the back of my neck, the slow suffocation of a silent street at night, means I'm not so sure now. Jessica, over my shoulder I see my dad walking toward us, his face a mixture of confusion and concern. He still has his slippers on, and I remember Mom chiding him for treading dirt into the house. Inside shoes, outside shoes, she would say, holding each in turn. That's really cute. But Mom's rules have been forgotten now. It's okay, I say, touching Emily's hand and leading her back to the house. Everything's fine. I say that even if everything isn't fine, even if I have the strangest feeling that someone was outside after all. Before I close the front door, I stand our gnome back up and hope it was Emily who knocked it over, not someone else. Oh my Jesus. Okay, this book's gonna give me a heart attack. 42. We don't sleep much that night. Emily checks the window every hour while the glow of Hannah's phone doesn't fade until I finally drift off around 3. The next morning, Emily wants me to tell the police, and Hannah wants to confiscate my phone. But I say no to both and wonder if this will be our little secret or if someone was recording the whole thing. If a neighbor was filming us shouting in the street and it's already online, if even through a sock on a day it shouldn't, the camera in my bedroom filmed every word. But no one calls and no one visits, not the police nor Danny nor anyone else. If someone really was outside, I should have filmed it. It's things like this that will help me get the full 3 months. I need to get used to strapping on the head cam quickly, instinctively, so I practice for half an hour, on then off, over and over, until I can do it with my eyes closed. Everything important needs to be recorded. Every possible clue needs to be piled up until the police can't ignore them. Someone knew we were having a sleepover. They knew we were in the house the moment I got that text. I pick up my phone and type a message. I send it and wait. Okay then, come get me if you're brave enough. These girls are so stupid. Okay. 43. Sarah's article was published today. So I go on the Doveton Messenger homepage, and there it is, my words under the headline. YouTube star fights back after Magpie Man messages. Serial killer branded pathetic by daughter of first victim. She has published my comments word for word, and over my shoulder I hear the camera in the corner of the room whirring more than normal. It's trying to focus on the story I'm reading, showing my viewers what I can see. To help, I turn on the head cam and point it at the laptop, waiting a few seconds as it refocuses until the words are clear. Now everyone who's watching me can read Sarah's article. Jessica Simmons, the daughter of the Magpie Man's first victim, has spoken exclusively to the Messenger about her new internet show and her quest to bring her mother's killer to justice. The residents of Doveton will never forget what happened on the terrible night when a wife and mother was savagely murdered, but 17-year-old Jessica wants the whole world to remember. The more people who are reminded of Mom's fate, the more who believe the texts really are coming from the man who killed her, the better my chance of catching him. When I finish the story, I read the comments, pointing the camera at the ones that stand out, showing my viewers the difference between useful and useless. I haven't spoken to you for a while, I say. Not like this, anyway, but we're running out of time. What did you like today? What did you love? What did you share just because everyone else had? We fill our feeds with stuff that doesn't mean anything, but tonight, if you want to, you can change that. Please share this. Please spread the message, because he's still out there, and he's getting ready to kill again. I'm scared I sound desperate, because I am, but what choice do I have? I'm nearly at the end of my 3rd show, and I can't let this go so soon. 44. I lie in bed watching the red light on the camera, waiting for it to blink off so I can finally get to sleep. Until midnight, until I know no one is watching, I can't sleep a wink. My phone says 11:11, and I check my messages, but whoever is sending the threats hasn't replied to my taunt. I close my eyes and try to relax, and then my window smashes, glass spraying all over the room. I jump up before I know what I'm doing, stepping on something sharp and holding back a scream. There's a brick wrapped in paper in the middle of the floor, and I hear the camera zoom in on it. I try to pull the glass out of my foot, but I can't. It's too deep, and I hobble to the window and look outside. There's a man standing there, looking up at me, and I quickly grab the head cam and point it outside. He stays still, watching, a hood covering his face. I try to fight off the terror, but my hands are shaking in the half light. Someone is outside on Saturday night, but they aren't hiding anymore. My stomach is knotted and my breath comes out fast and jagged, tightening in my chest until I have to swallow and slowly exhale, then again, over and over, until the panic calms just enough for me to move. I hold the camera up so everyone can see, and surely someone will come. Surely the police are watching. Surely Danny is on his way. Surely Emily and Hannah can see this, and they're already calling 999 to report an emergency. But all that happens is a neighbor's front light blinks on, then a few seconds later, off again. The man stands there until I hear a car, the headlight shattering the space between the night and the shape within it. His body suddenly clear. He looks up one last time, then slowly walks away, and I realize no one is coming. If I want to find out if it's really him, I have to do it myself, and I have to do it now. 45. I reach down, grip the glass, and yank it out of my foot, the pain surging through my body. I wince at the sting, the throbbing of the cut matching my heartbeat. My breath feels sharp, my stomach tight with a mixture of nausea and panic, and I realize it's now or never. Tears are streaming down my face, but the adrenaline stops me from breaking. I wrap tissues around my foot, trying not to focus on the blood quickly soaking through. I pull on today's clothes, fasten the camera around my head, and wince as I push my foot into my shoe. I go downstairs and unlock the front door, then stop. I'm here, I'm safe, but out there. I want Dad to be home, but the living room is dark and my father is working the zombie shift. He would hate me for doing this, but I have to. I grip the handle, feel it click as I push, then walk outside. The car that pulled up is the man from 2 doors down, and he smiles as I walk past while I do my best to look normal. I want to ask him for help, but something stops me. Would he believe me? Would he tell me to wait for the police? The sirens and the solemn sighs that always come too late? No, the hooded man couldn't have gone far. I try to walk faster, but the pain in my foot sends jolts at my leg. I wonder what this looks like on screen, some blurry camera footage and me panting in the background. I get to the end of my block and look both ways. There it is, the alley where Mom was killed. If I was the real Magpie Man, if I had thrown a brick through someone's window and wanted to shut them up or scare them or whatever the hell this is, the alley would be the perfect ending. I try to move, but my legs are frozen on the spot. My breathing cuts through the nighttime hush, and I don't trust the space around me. I think about turning around, going home, running away, and then I step forward and stare into the darkness. The last street light for 1 minute and 52 seconds buzzing above me. This is the safety Mom never reached. She stared at the opposite end, but never made it out. I step forward again, then again, and I feel the darkness start to cover me. A rush goes through my body and my heart is pounding, and the silence gets louder until it's ringing in my ears. I hear breathing, a snap, a rustle that makes me shiver, and then someone grabs my arm from behind.